Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video. We're currently in Austria beside this beautiful lake and we're just out here for a walk.
If you're new here, I'm Charlene, this is Chris, and that's Holly. And we've been living in our motorhome for about a year and a half now. And we've just came back from an epic trip in Turkey.
Now in last week's video we asked you to put in your questions and we've received so many amazing ones. So in today's video we're going to be answering all your questions and you're going to get to know us a bit better. So let's head back to the van, put the kettle on and get to it.
Let's get it started in here.
So let's get this Q&A started. We're going to begin with the Turkey questions. We've got all of your questions here on our phones and we're going to go through them one by one. So starting off here, we've got, did you get insurance and breakdown cover at the Turkey border? Now the answer is no, because we were covered already with our service provider, but there is insurance and breakdown available at the Turkish border.
Let's get it started, let's get it started in here. Second question, can you name your top 5 and worst 5 places in Turkey? And then we got another one. Would love to know your top 10 highlights of the Turkey trip.
Yeah, this is a hard one. So we actually did a bit of a vote before we started because it was so difficult. But we have finally agreed on a top 5 at least.
Top 5,
so we're going to give you those and then we'll give you some worst experiences as well. And it's good to note that kind of all the locations were beautiful, but we kind of have like memories and the experience attached to the location. So that is kind of what makes it
special,
really nice or special for us.
Yeah, so let's start with number 5. Number 5 is Oludenis, and that's because it is by the sea and there are mountains as well in that area.
Such a beautiful place.
We saw a turtle, you remember, a sea turtle, and I did paragliding for the very first time, which was amazing.
You jumped off the mountain, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was so beautiful there. One of our favorite spots by the sea.
Yeah.
Now in number 4, we've got Lake Tuz. And that was special for us because after such a long time by the sea, we cut inland and it was like we needed a different landscape. And my God, it was like another planet there, you know?
Yes. I remember at night, you know, the sky was full of stars and it was pitch black. It was amazing.
Absolutely stunning. And then the next day, we also had another sunset, actually, really beautiful on the opposite side of the lake. So we really loved Lake Tuz.
The third one is Kaş, and that's because we were parked right by the sea, and it was amazing as well because we met some locals. They invited us for a barbecue with them, and I got to spend a whole day in the sea.
And I'd like to add as well the whole turquoise coast, like so around Kaş, there was Kalkan and Kaputas Bay.
Yeah, really
Such
beautiful.
a beautiful area.
We really loved it there.
Very much. And then in second spot we've got Lake Salda, which was absolutely amazing. We went there right after Pamukkale. Now Pamukkale was a bit touristy, so we really loved it when we were parked up just by the lake on our own nearly, and I've never seen anything like it. You know, the lake, the reflection, the color, it was just perfect.
It was like a mirror reflecting all of those beautiful views. And it was as well, like we said, at Lake Tuz.
Same as Lake Tuz, yeah. At night, it was
pitch
just
black
beautiful.
and the sky full of stars.
Yes, right. And I think they want to know number 1. What was our top spot?
Number 1 is...
You know what it is.
Cappadocia! And that's because we had a lovely park up, and then for sunrise you get to see more than 100 balloons in the sky. So that was our, top
the sky was filmed
place.
with balloons, 3 sunrises in a row. It's difficult waking up at times, but absolutely magical. And I think that's one of the best park ups we've had ever. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, really beautiful.
If you go to Turkey, Cappadocia is definitely going to be on the list, be it to see the balloons or even do any other activities.
And there's a good hype about it as well, and it's true. I mean, there are a lot of activities to do there, and even like when you meet people, you know, they're always happy.
They are. So moving on to the next part of this question. I want to know our worst experiences or worst locations. Now, as I mentioned, everywhere is beautiful there. We didn't like Istanbul too much because it was very busy and chaotic for us. And also obviously on our planned last day in Turkey, when we had the tire problem that you saw in our vlog last week, that was a nightmare as well. So I think those were like our two worst experiences. And then worst of the lot,
It's the cat bite,
the
I
cat
think.
bite, yeah.
Well, the area was nice, but it was our worst experience in Turkey, I think, because we got bitten by a cat.
Yeah, not me, Holly and Charlie. But it was definitely a nightmare.
Yeah.
The area itself, like along the sea, was amazing. We
Yeah.
didn't really want to leave the coastline, but then when that happened, we just rushed forward to Antalya, and then we kept on with our journey after that. So that was kind of the worst experience. But again, nothing to do with the area. The area's stunning.
Amazing, yeah. Is there good access to fresh water and waste and black emptying facilities in Turkey?
Definitely, yeah. We loved it there. So fresh water is amazing. You've got taps on the side of the road. The locals even come and fill up as well.
Very easy, there.
Very easy, yeah. It's not the same here in Europe. In regards to black, so emptying your toilet and the grey water, there aren't really any like free facilities, but we found the campsite's really good. They would let us empty for normally around €3 to €5.
Sometimes even for free as well.
Yeah, and some of them
Remember?
even let us do it for free. So
Yeah.
in that respect, you haven't really got any trouble in Turkey.
Epic hot air balloons in Cappadocia. How many balloons fly at the same time? ... Safety. So, if you're going to Cappadocia, you should know that the hot air balloons, they don't fly every day. And it's because they need to check the weather before they go.
Yeah, it's very weather dependent. The wind has to be
Perfect.
like, it can't be too windy or bad weather obviously, but then if there's no wind, sometimes they don't go up either. We actually went up the very first time that we went to Turkey, went up in the hot air balloon, because this time we just stayed and watched them from the van.
Yeah.
But the very first time we went up, it was magical, you know, very safe, I would say, like very smooth.
Yes.
The pilots were very professional as well.
So yeah, that's it.
Cool, now we're going to move on to the real stuff. How long does it take to edit a vlog? Say 25 to 30 minutes, Kevin asks.
And
So,
this one is from Kevin.
right, so at the moment, we've kind of changed our process a bit because Charlene has been editing for the last few months. So what we're doing, after we've finished filming a vlog, which normally takes about 1 or 2 days, sometimes 3, Charlene starts going through the clips, chooses what we're going to use, starts to find some music, and starts to cut it up basically.
Yeah.
So the vlog is then about, I'd say, 70% done, and that would take around 3 days. Am I right?
It depends on the
depends.
clips, yeah, it depends. Around 3 to 4 days,
Yeah, when I say 3 days, it's not like 4 to 6 hours, it's more like 8 to 12 hours working
or even more.
on the
Yeah.
laptop, yeah. And then I take over from there and kind of put it all together and finish it off.
Yes.
And that'll take me another like 12 hours or so. So in total, editing, roughly about 4 days. And
4
it's 4
days,
busy days,
yeah.
to get it right. We kind of pay attention a bit more, like we want to choose like the right music and
Yes, we're a bit picky, yeah.
try and do it as best as we can. But so yeah, hope you enjoyed them.
How has it been for mobile data or places with free Wi-Fi? So I think I can answer this one, huh?
Yeah, of course, yeah, go ahead.
So he's got, we got 2 mobile data plans. He's got 80 gigabytes and I got 35 gigabytes. And the problem with mine is that every 3 months I have to send it back home and then stay another 2 months without it, and then they send it back. And then for the free Wi-Fi, there are places that provide free Wi-Fi. Some villages in some areas, yes, they do have, and it's provided by the local council. But since we love nature, you know, we get to park in nature. So
Yeah, most of the time.
most of the time, yes, we're in nature
We use our data.
and we use ours, yeah. But yes, there are few Wi-Fi spots, and
Yeah, they're mostly in the
sometimes
cities.
we benefit from them as well.
Yeah, mostly in the cities and in the big towns. And just to add as well, obviously our plans only cover us in Europe. So When we went to Turkey, for example, we bought a SIM card from there.
So, which country has the most free park ups? Your turn.
So I think if we're referring to park ups with services, so you've got like electric, water and disposal services which are free, you find those mostly in Europe. Now, obviously everyone knows about the French airs. We haven't used those too much, but we spent a lot of time like in Central Europe, and Slovenia was an amazing place for that. So if you venture away from the tourist spots, the rest of the country has a nice network of free park up spots. With electric and everything. Obviously you have to pay for the electric sometimes. It's normally like €1 and that will serve you for a few hours. Germany has quite a few as well, and there are some in Austria and Italy. Again, you won't find these in the tourist hotspots. So you might find most of these when you're away from the touristic spots, and they're actually amazing really. Like, it's crazy to think that you can go there, spend a few days for free and use all the services, especially with the prices of campsites, you know, nowadays.
Exactly, yeah. And you get to buy local food as well from the place.
Yeah, it's normally in these like little towns or villages that you've never heard of, but they're normally beautiful. There's always a lot to see.
We know them by heart now.
What's next?
Who snores the most? Include Holly. Me?
You, I think. Or Holly. It's between Charlene and Holly.
Once he recorded me, and I heard it, so...
Yeah, I've got proof. I've got proof, so she can't say anything. How long have you been together? And Holly's a little superstar, so thank you. She is.
So we've been together for 12 years, and we've got Holly since she was a puppy.
Yeah, 8 years ago.
Was there many places you couldn't take Holly?
Holly is with us, really.
24/7, yeah. We'd never leave her in the van alone because we're afraid that if something happens with the van, you know, and...
Yeah, we don't risk it. We always take her with us.
Anything can happen. It can get on fire, someone can break in, you know, so we never leave her alone. But whenever there's a place that we can't take her, we just don't go there. And as you can see from our vlogs, we took her as well with us at the traditional Turkish hammam.
Yeah,
that was so funny.
She was in the backpack. She comes everywhere with us. But if there is something that, you know, we really want to do, we'll do it individually. Like, for example, when Charlene, as we mentioned, jumped off that mountain, Holly stayed with me, obviously. And then if you want to like go and see a museum or something, you know, the other one will wait outside. So in those very rare circumstances that we want to do something without her, luckily we're two of us, so we can take turns, or one of us keep her.
Yeah.
Anything else for Holly?
Yeah, she's our little baby.
Little superstar.
Superstar, I like that. What did you do before you started traveling job-wise?
Right, so we both finished school quite early. Like, I dropped out when I was 16, and you as well, I think, when you were 17.
Yeah.
So starting with me, initially I used to work in this beautiful call centre. It was amazing. It wasn't too bad, but that was my first job. And then from there I started working in a bank. So just a normal 9 to 5 office job with the bank. It was a good job. Spent most of my life working there until I got fed up. So that's me. How about you?
And for me, I used to work in many different sectors. The last job I had was as an HR officer. It was the same 9 to 5 job. It was remote, that was really good, but sometimes I had to work harder than any normal job, you know, because you're working from home. And yeah, I used to work a bit more as well. How long have you been traveling for?
Long time. So we've always loved traveling since the beginning.
Yeah. After our first 6 months together, we got on a flight.
Yeah, straight away. First thing we did was book a flight. After that, there was a period where we didn't travel too much because we were saving up. But I'd like to say, like in the last 5 years, 2018, we've kind of been traveling like non-stop during the like summer seasons at least, and maybe a bit less in winter. And then 2019, we decided to get the van. 2020 happened, everything got delayed, and then in 2021 we finally bought our motorhome, and we moved away from Malta, which is where we used to live at the time, And we've been living in the van here for about a year and a half now.
Yeah.
So we haven't been back.
Next one. Do you miss your family? Are you ever homesick?
You know, so for me, it's like, yes, I miss my family. And no, I'm not homesick.
For me, yes, of course, I miss my family. And are you ever homesick? Yeah, I think so. Not every day, you know, because we always wake up somewhere new, you know, and we live in lovely countries here in Central Europe and even in Turkey, you know, you can never get bored. But sometimes I get homesick and I miss my family, you know, and sometimes all I want to do is just be in my mom's kitchen, you know, and have a cup of tea together. That's all.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult for us because Holly is about, although she doesn't look it, she's about 12 kilos, I think, or 11 kilos. And they don't let us on with her
Yeah.
on the flight. So we have to put her with the luggage. And that's something that we don't want to do. So to go back to Malta, we'd either have to drive all the way down, which is quite expensive. And it obviously takes some time. We have to catch 2 ferries. Or else one of us would have to fly without the other. And like, that's not really something we want to do unless it's an emergency. So that's the situation at the moment. And like anything else, if you want to do something kind of different, there are going to be things like this, like little negative things, which you kind of have to push through.
Yeah, we've been 1 year since we saw them last time. But yeah, we got the mobile phones and we chat with them, you know, and we video call very frequently.
Technology is great, for things like this. So interesting to know
is the financial cost of Vanlife. Could you break it down?
Yeah, so Terence,
a lot to do here.
Thank you for this question. So we're not really going to break it down in this video because it would take us too long. So first of all, if you're interested in regards to costs relating to Turkey, we've got a video already, which is called, I think, How Cheap is Van Life in Turkey? So I'll put it up on the screen here and you can go and check it out after you watch this video. But in regards to costs in Europe, we need to do another video, I think, because it's totally different here. And there are other costs which are like...
And we get into more detail about everything.
So in a couple of months' time, we want to record a very detailed video about how cheap or how expensive van life is in Europe.
Which is both.
Keep an eye out for that.
Then, a scene in your mind that you will never forget. Ooh, this one is nice.
Who asked this one? I haven't seen it yet.
Eleni Blue Sky from Instagram.
Okay, must have missed this one. Let me think. You want to go first?
Yeah. So mine is when I arrived in France and we picked up Tendi. That's a scene that I will never forget, I think.
That's a good one.
Because it's like, it's been a dream for a very long time, and then it happened that day. Wow.
Yeah, when we were purchasing it, things got caught up a bit and a bit delayed.
And you bought it online as well.
Yeah, we definitely bought it online. So that moment Charlene is talking about is the very first time we actually saw it in real life. Now for me, I'm just thinking of one now. Like when we went to Bulgaria, there was this amazing road, you know, like driving. It's called Driver's Beach. And I remember just driving the van there. We had the sea on one side and then the land on the other side. And then Charlene took the wheel and done some drone shots and it just looked absolutely stunning. So for me, like, although we visited like so many beautiful places, I think that's one that kind of sticks in my mind because it was kind of like unplanned and just beautiful.
What's the biggest lesson you have learned so far from traveling?
Deep. That's very deep.
So I think I've learned to live simply. And by that I mean without buying any extra clothes, you know, that I don't need. And even to buy something, I always ask myself, like, do I really need this?
Yeah,
or
you just buy what you need.
Yeah,
really, so I
you
agree
buy
with
what
that.
you need. Yeah.
For me, it's I'd have to say it's like being kind of grateful, slowing down a bit more, and like when we're actually like in a beautiful place or, you know, just kind of stopping.
You feel grateful for everything.
Yeah, but apart from that, just stopping and taking it in. It's like this is this moment. Forget what's coming next and just kind of really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And something funny that we mentioned a few days ago, Like now that we're in the van, it's kind of funny, but what makes me happy is like when we've got a full battery, got a full tank of water, empty toilet,
Yeah.
we're in a nice park up,
Everything's
and
working
everything's working
fine
fine.
and smooth, you know, and
When that happens,
when that
just
happens,
happy,
yeah.
pure happiness. What's the best card to use for exchange rates? So we don't really know, but we obviously have our bank cards, our normal banks in Malta, and then we have like a Revolut MasterCard, and we use that mostly for everything. It gives us like free withdrawals in Europe, and we just use it at the shops quite normally. So, but not sure on which is the best card. We just use that, and we're happy with it. You can use it online, and
Yeah.
very simple.
Very easy as well, yeah. Is it easy to get medical and pet insurance as you go from country to country?
Okay, so shall I answer this one? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So medical insurance, we don't have any insurance, or we might have some with our cards, but I'm not too sure on that. But as kind of Maltese citizens, we have like an EU medical card, and that gives us like access to hospitals all over Europe. Yeah. So if anything
yeah.
was to happen, we could use an EU hospital. Obviously, outside the EU, like when we went to Turkey, we weren't covered for that, so we'd have to cover any expenses. And in regards to Holly, no, we don't do pet insurance. We save up for her, and we've got like an amount of money there, so that if anything happens and we need to do anything, we're covered for that. So we've got so we've got 2 more questions left, and these are juicy. One of them is the most common question that we get asked all the time. But first, we need to make a cup of tea.
Yeah. And biscuits.
We've got biscuits.
Yeah. Really good, huh? Like them?
Very good. Leanne asked, what are your plans now? Will you be returning to Malta or coming to the UK? So, current plans, as you know, we're just back in Europe. We'll explain in the next question, I think, a bit more about what we're doing here. And our plan really is to explore Central Europe. You might think this place is small, but
It's huge.
huge.
Yeah.
Loads of
Valleys and villages.
so much to see, yeah. And we've got a very interesting series coming up in the coming weeks.
Woo!
Going to a new country, so we're looking forward to sharing that with you. And then from there next year, we'll kind of do some trips further away from
But
home.
we still have no idea where. So,
Yeah, we only plan like for the next few months.
Yeah.
And we'll obviously let you guys know what we have planned for 2023. But it's going to be a big year for sure. We just need to decide which direction
where
we
to
want to go.
go,
Yeah.
yes.
And a continuation of that question, will you be returning to Malta or coming to the UK? So Malta, as you mentioned, no, we don't plan to go back. In regards to
Yes.
coming to the UK, possibly one day, not this year, that's for sure,
No.
but who knows? It's
Far,
only a
it's
few hours
far.
away. It's not far, it's only a few. We can go there. We can go to the UK today. We can leave today from, here we are, where are we, in Austria? Forget where we are sometimes. And we can make it to the UK by tonight if we want.
Oh, by tonight, no
By
way.
tonight.
No.
So do you want to tell them the final questions? These 2 questions, very similar. We'll answer it in one, and this is our most asked question of all time.
How do you fund your travels? And how do you fund your adventures?
Yeah, and are you rich? So, most common question. Unfortunately, we are not rich. I think the best way to answer this is to give you a bit of our story. I think we touched on some of it already earlier on, but around 5 years ago, we decided that we wanted to travel as much as we can. And obviously living in Malta, it's a small island with a kind of city vibe. And
No
we kind
nature.
of realised that we enjoyed spending time in nature. When we were exposed to the mountains for the very first time, we were just like,
You
oh my
remember
God.
that moment? Wow.
So the Dolomites has a special
Dolomites.
place in our heart. We also really enjoyed it when we were in Australia, like for a few weeks. And at that point, we kind of said, listen, we want to do something more permanent.
Yeah.
At that point, so I set up my business, learned how to shoot photos and videos, and then it's just been growing since then. So
Then the hard
that's-
work came in because we were like traveling, but it wasn't a holiday anymore. You know, we used to wake up very early to get that perfect shot, you know, for Instagram. And yeah,
Oh yeah, at the time. So I started growing my Instagram as well.
it was
so
crazy at the time.
So very busy, a lot of hard work as well, a lot of learning, learn everything online myself. And yeah, we started getting clients, working with hotels in different countries in Europe, later on with tourism boards as well. But as Charlie mentioned, it was busy. We'd like,
Every month we used to go, well, he used to go.
sometimes used to go alone as well, yeah.
alone,
And I used to go and shoot like a project, for example, and then the week after go and shoot another project. And at the beginning I was still working at the bank and then edited on the weekend, so it's really hard. And then, like as I mentioned, in 2019 we came up with the idea that we'd kind of leave Malta and just work with a motorhome, so travel to Central Europe, do the client work, and then go off to Turkey and enjoy our time. And that's what we did really. But like last year we started recording YouTube videos and we love it, so this is kind of taken a priority as well now, and we kind of split our time between client work, which is where we get our money from, and recording YouTube videos
for you.
and traveling. Obviously with Turkey we stopped working for those few months and we saved up for that trip, and now we're back in Europe kind of to get back to work. So over the past few weeks we've already been working on a few client projects, and that's how we make our money really.
And to document our life was an idea that we had in Faroe Islands, and then we started vlogging there.
Yeah, I was thinking as well, like imagine how many experiences we had and we didn't really have much to show for it. And we were kind of saying, like, imagine if we filmed when we went to Jordan, or we went to there, or we went there. And we said, let's just start, you know, just start filming. And then
the good thing is that you get to see it as well. You get to be with us on this journey that we're on. So it's a wonderful thing, I think, to share everything.
Definitely. And yeah, so in regards to money, that's it. So that's my business really. It's something we've been working on for the last 5-6 years. And obviously we're doing YouTube now as well. But in regards to like YouTube income, it's very, very minimal. It doesn't pay the bills, that's for sure at this point. So we're definitely still...
We can buy a packet of biscuits.
Yeah. Okay, biscuits, I think.
A big thank you for those who drop down the questions on Instagram or on YouTube. We really appreciate your support, and thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, it was nice seeing some new names in the comments as well.
Yes, as well, yeah.
And we'll do one of these again in the future, that's for sure. Now, if you enjoyed watching the video, please hit the like button, because that helps us out. If this is the first video watching, what a good... Yeah, hit the subscribe button, but what a good video to watch, because you've learned so much about us all in one video. And yeah, we've answered all the questions. Apart from that one silly one, you know who you are. And yeah, that's it for today. So we'll see you next week.
For another one, yeah.
One final thing. Next week,
you're going to be with me.
You're going to be with Charlene, because she recorded the video from beginning to end, all on her own. So that's going to be funny, that's for sure.
I did a great job.
Great job. Fantastic job. Great job.
You have to watch it. You have to watch it.
So see you there. Bye.
Ciao.